My name is Ichiro Matsuyama. I'm 19 years old and I'm working at a soba noodle restaurant. It's been 4 years since I started working here, so I can do almost everything. Oh, hang on, some of you sharp viewers might be thinking, what, 4 years? You've been working at this restaurant since you were 15 years old? What about school? Did you go to junior high? Well, in answer to the question from you perceptive brats, you see what I did there? That's a reference to Full Metal Alchemist, check it out. As you might have guessed, I started working right after I graduated from high school. I'll give a little information in my background to explain why. I'm actually the eldest sibling of 9, so I'm from a pretty big family. I may have a lot of siblings, but that doesn't necessarily mean that my parents loved kids. To be honest, they would probably say something like, oh, we didn't mean to, but before we knew it, there were 9 kids running around the house. They were such a pain in the butt to take care of. I was the eldest son, then the eldest daughter was born, the second son, the third son, the second daughter, the fourth son, the third daughter, the fourth daughter, and then finally their 5th son was born. They have 5 sons and 4 daughters, and they didn't plan parenthood like other families might do. The worst part was that they were always having trouble with money, so the moment I graduated from high school, they took that as a chance to kick me out of the house. Luckily enough, even though they had to kick me out, they didn't start demanding that I work and put in money to pay the bills. They didn't say anything. They just wanted me out. Obviously, the only motive they had was that they wanted to save a little more on food and clothing. However, once I was out on the streets, I had no idea what to do. I had only just graduated from junior high, and the only personal belongings I had brought with me were my school bag and uniform. I couldn't believe that there were still people that would kick out their own child out of the house in this day and age, so I had nothing but despair for my own future. But I couldn't give up. I'd been saving money in secret, in an old piggy bank I'd kept in my school bag. I sat down on a park bench to count how much I had, and figured out how much it was and how much it might last me. I can't give up. It looks like this money will last me a while, but I gotta find a job and a place to stay. My stomach won't stop growling, and as I was looking around the town looking for a cheap place to eat, I noticed an old soba restaurant. It had a sign posted out front saying big servings of curry for the usual price today only. It was a mystery to me why a soba restaurant would be serving curry, but the more I thought about it, the more my stomach begged me for some food, so I decided to go in and give it a try.
Hey, welcome.
Hi, can I have 1 serving of the big curry?
Oh, you're here for the curry? You've got good taste, kid.
Yes, please. I'm so hungry I could eat a horse.
Really? Well then eat as much as you can.
The old man smiled as he brought out a large bowl of rice topped up with steaming curry. It smelled so good, I started swallowing down spoonful after spoonful, and I was delighted by how delicious it was. It's so good! It's the best curry I've ever had!
I bet it is. Curry made at soba restaurants are known to be some of the best. There's no soba chef that can't make a good bowl of curry.
I wasn't exaggerating. That curry I ate was some of the best I had ever eaten. I didn't think I'll ever forget the taste of that first spoonful of curry. I'll be treasuring that memory for the rest of my life.
By the way, kid, are you here alone? Where are your parents? You got a lot of courage coming down to a broken old down restaurant like this one all by yourself.
Oh, sorry, I was really hungry, so I couldn't ignore the poster you put on the window outside. I really wanted to eat something warm. I may just be a kid, but I've got money, so you don't have to worry, I'll pay for my meal.
That's okay, but usually when kids your age come to the restaurants, they're with their parents. This might be none of my business, but I'm a little worried to see you here on your own.
Oh, yeah, a lot has happened. So I didn't have any choice but to leave my parents' house. I'm looking for work and a place to stay because I can't go back.
Seriously? In this day and age? You're still a middle schooler, aren't you? You're gonna start working?
Yeah, I know, it's pretty ridiculous.
Why don't you tell me a little bit more?
I gave in to the old man's persistence and I told him everything about my life and what had happened to me at my home. He stayed quiet as he listened to my story and didn't interrupt me once, but when I was done, he knew everything there was to know and he clapped me on the shoulder.
Alright, I'll hire you. You can work here with me. It's a little small, but I've also got a room that I can lend you.
What? But I've never worked at a soba restaurant before. I've never even made soba. I don't think…
That's fine, I'm taking charge of the cooking, so I just need help with the cleaning and taking care of the customers' orders, and washing up and other errands like buying stuff from the supermarket. I'll probably ask you to help me with some of the cleaning at my house, too. My wife passed away last year, and I've been so busy with work that I haven't been able to keep up with the housework. It looks like a herd of elephants has stampeded through it.
If it's cleaning that you want me to do, then I think I might be able to help. I'll do everything I can, thank you. Just like that, I was picked up off the streets by the old man that owned the soba restaurant. His name was Yusaku Sakuma, and he became a very important person to me. The soba restaurant was well loved by the locals and had a lot of regulars who would always come to eat daily, others once a week and some once a month. The owner told me that it had been open for over 90 years, since his father opened it as a young man. Mr. Yusaku was the second-generation owner and he was very proud of it. I spent my days waking up early to clean up the restaurant and then take care of the house.
Whoa, the living room looked like it had a bomb dropped on it, but now it's completely clean. You did a good job, kid. Thanks.
Thank you very much, sir. I even got praise from the regulars.
Oh, what a sweet little boy. Let me give you a candy for working so hard. Here you go.
Thank you very much.
This kid's got a lot of courage, you know. He was kicked out of his parents' house, but he didn't use that as an excuse to become a hooligan. He's an honest worker. He'll be working here from now on. So I hope that you'll watch over him, too.
Oh, really? That must have been very difficult for you. I know. Why don't you take these oranges home with you? I don't want you getting sick from working so hard.
Really? I can have them? Thank you very much. I'm so happy. It's the first time I've been given a present like this. All my things were also my siblings' things too. I'll save the oranges for later because I want to savor them.
Oh, what a good boy. Yusaku, make sure you feed him properly, okay? He deserves so much better.
I know that. I'll take good care of him.
As you can see, Pops and— oh, I'm calling Mr. Yusaku Pops because he asked me to. Pops and the regulars all make sure that I'm doing okay, and they all want me to be happy and healthy. I was lucky enough to be surrounded by some very good people, and I was able to enjoy my time working at the restaurant. And then, 1 year after I had started working at the restaurant, everything changed.
Hey kid, I've got something I want to talk to you about.
Yeah? What is it?
Have I ever told you that I've got a son?
You've got a son? This is the first time I've heard of him.
I thought so. His name is Yuji, and he tells me that he's resigned from his job so that he's gonna come back and work with us here at the restaurant. I've got no idea why, but that's what he says.
Oh, so he's gonna be the one who's taking over the restaurant?
Oh, I wonder about that. He's never been interested in making soba, and he never mentioned being willing to become my heir, but ever since I told him about you, he suddenly announced that he's gonna come and work with me, and showing interest for the first time ever. I don't really understand what he's thinking.
But you must be happy. You were saying that you were looking for someone to take over the restaurant, right? If it's your own son, then there'll be less to worry about, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. It's worth a try. I guess I'll have to train him and teach him all the recipes.
Not long after that, Pop's son Yuji came over to the home and started to work at the restaurant. Yuji is 21 years older than I am. When we first met, I was 16 years old and he was already 37.
Yuji, this is the kid I was talking about. He's living in the spare room rent-free in exchange for working as a cleaner/waiter in the restaurant. Kid, this is my son, Yuji. I hope you get along.
My name is Ichido Matsuyama. I'm looking forward to working with you. Hey, old man, you're not planning on letting this brat take over the restaurant, are you? I won't allow it.
What are you talking about? The kid's still 16. I'm not thinking about making him take over, and neither is he. Not yet, anyway. That's something we'll think about in the future, okay?
What? Dad, I want you to make sure that you swear that you won't make him the next owner. If you don't swear, then I won't be able to focus on my training. What's the point of me doing this if you suddenly tell me he's the one who's gonna be taking over?
What? You're being ridiculous, Yuji.
Swear it, Dad.
Listen to me, Yuji. You've never set foot in this restaurant before, have you? And you haven't even shown any interest in making soba. So why should I promise you that you'll be the next owner? I don't know why you suddenly changed your mind and came back here, but I'm only going to allow someone I can trust and that I've acknowledged to stand up in my kitchen. Even if you are my son, I'm not going to exempt you from that. I'm not going to let you work here if you're going to be half-hearted about your training. If you can't be serious about this, then get out.
Yuji was struck silent by the strong words that Pops had responded with. I'm pretty much a complete stranger, so I had never dreamed of becoming the heir to Pop's soba restaurant. More importantly, I was still a complete beginner when it came to cooking. I'd never been trusted with making any of the meals on the menu at the restaurant yet. But in the year following Yuji's return to the restaurant, Pops taught Yuji how to make soba noodles from scratch and how to prepare tempura to top off the toba. Out of a consideration for me, Pops took me aside one day and explained that I was still young, so I had plenty of time to learn everything. But that he had to teach Yuji first because he was already in his late 30s. He assured me that he only wanted to prioritize Yuji's training because an old dog can't learn new tricks. I was grateful that Pops was worried that I might feel like I was being overlooked, but if anything, it'd be easier for me if Yuji took over the restaurant. I could avoid the needless friction, and like Pops said, I was still young. In a few years, once I had enough money, I might want to go and do something else. And that would mean that I would have to leave the restaurant. That's why I felt that Pop's decision was the correct one, and I was comfortable with whatever it led to. A few years passed and I had become 19. It had been 4 years since I arrived at the restaurant, and next year I'd be facing a milestone in my life. I'd be 20. It was clear that Yuji didn't like me, and we didn't get along that well. Whenever Pops was in the restaurant, he wouldn't dare do anything. When Pops was out though, he would jump at the chance to bully me. Seriously, I don't know how you tricked my old man into taking you in. I can't see the worth in keeping around an uneducated, poor, scrawny, short brat like you around. You should be out on the streets. If I was you, I'd be too embarrassed to be alive. I would have ended myself by now. I'm lucky I'm the complete opposite though. I went to a university, I have more money, and I'm a tall, handsome guy. You can't even compare yourself to someone like me. Okay, I understand mentioning my education and my height, but I don't think the amount of money we have is any different. We both work in the same restaurants and we earn the same. You're just a pathetic part-timer, whereas I'm the man that's gonna take over this restaurant. Right. This is why the uneducated idiots like you piss me off. You don't even understand why I'm better than you. Now hurry up and get the cleaning done. I'm already finished. Then wash the dishes. That's finished too? What? Then get out of here, okay? You're in my way. I don't even want to look at you. Get out? But it's not my lunchtime yet. I've gotta be here in case I gotta take orders, you know? He would make snide comments to try and bring me down and to make himself look superior. For a guy that went to college, he didn't really have a wide range of vocabulary, so it didn't really bother me that much. I have a feeling that Cinderella's evil stepmother would do a better job of making me cry than Yuji ever would, so I'm glad that I'm not Cinderella.
Hey boys, I'm back. You haven't been arguing while I've been out, have you? I want you to both get along, alright?
Don't worry, Pops, it's nothing you have to worry about. We're getting along fine.
Really? Anyway, Yuji, didn't you just get an order from Mr. Kawada on 3rd Street? Haven't you started preparing for that?
Crap.
Hurry up and get it done.
Yeah. Why isn't Matsuyama in charge of delivering, though? I don't know why I gotta bother taking some stupid Silva all the way to 3rd Street. I wish I could, but I don't have a license yet. I want to get a license using my own money, so I'm still saving up. Just like you said, I'm poor, so it's gonna take me a lot longer before I can drive.
Hey kid, I'm sorry for the way Yuji's always treating you. He's always had a short temper, but it's clearly too late for him to change.
It's okay, Pops. I'll be happy as long as he learns how to make your soba soup base. I won't expect anything more, okay?
I think it's still gonna take a while though. That reminds me, there's something I wanted to ask you, kid.
What is it?
It's about my special curry. Yuji's not interested in learning how to make it, and I'm at a loss at how to convince him. Our main menu is soba, and most of our tempura is vegetable and prawn, but I'm particular about the vegetables and the pork meat I purchase solely for the curry. I've got a contract with a completely different farmer just for those vegetables, and the rice does cost a lot, but I believe it's worth it. As for Yuji, he thinks that it's just a waste of time and money. If he ever does take over the restaurant, I think that the curry option will disappear from the menu.
No way! But no one else can make curry that good. He can't get rid of it.
Thanks, Ichiro. I was hoping you would say that. That's why I've decided I want to entrust my curry recipe to you.
Pops?
I'm begging you, kid. This will be the last thing I ever ask of you, okay? So think of it as my final wish. I don't need anything else, okay?
Don't say it like that. You're making it sound like you're gonna die soon. Of course, I'd be happy to learn the recipe for your curry.
Thanks, Ichiro. I owe you one. But I hope you'll understand that Yuji can't know about this. We've got to do it early in the morning while he's still asleep. Otherwise, I won't hear the end of it. I can teach it to you and practice in the morning from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. I'm sure that you'll be perfect at it in no time.
Understood. Pops was already 70 years old when he asked me to learn how to make his curry. He must have felt like he didn't have long left, and he wanted to make sure that someone knew his recipe before he passed away. After that, I began training until I could make his curry in the exact same way that he had made it up until now. Aside from the poster outside, this curry isn't officially part of the menu, and it isn't printed on any of them, so it's a sort of secret option that the regulars choose because they know about it. I want to make sure that this recipe would stay alive even if Pops gave up the restaurant to Yuji. That was the only thing I could think about.
Welcome in!
I'd like a table for one.
Sure, take a seat at the counter.
Wow, she's really pretty. I'd never seen a customer like her, so it must be her first time. I hadn't seen her around town either, which made me think that she was new to the area. Our restaurant customers are mainly regulars, so newcomers like her stand out, and she especially stood out because of how beautiful she was. I wasn't surprised when Yuji jumped in to take her order. Hi, I've never seen you here before. Is this your first time?
That's right, it is. It's a hobby of mine to go out and eat at independent restaurants. So I decided to give this restaurant a try today.
Oh, really? Well, we're honored to have you. I recommend having the tempura soba. It's the best item on the menu. What do you think?
It sounds lovely, but I'm sorry. I've already decided what I'd like to have. I'd come to eat the curry. I've only got an appetite for curry right now.
Huh?
I saw the poster outside. It said that you're serving large portions of curry for just a lunchtime period, and I thought, I've got to have it. I've heard that soba restaurants make the best curry because they add a dash of soba soup base to it. And apparently the spices and the umami flavor make the best coupling. I'd love to try the soba one day, but today I want to eat curry.
You've got good taste, miss. It's an honor to have a savvy customer like you ask for the curry. We'll prepare it for you right away, so give us a minute, will ya?
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
Ichido, you're up! It's your very first customer, so do your best. Don't worry, you've prepared enough for this.
Yes, sir.
Your first customer? What do you mean?
Well, I've actually inherited the recipe for Pop's curry, and I've been practicing it for a while, but Pops only gave me the all clear to serve it to the next customer that asked for a plate the other day. So you're my first customer. What? I didn't know that.
Really? That's wonderful. I'm excited to taste it. I'll dig in right away. This is delicious. It's the best curry I've had.
Really? You like it? That's great. Thank goodness.
This really is a curry like no other. This unique taste must be bonito flakes if I'm not wrong. You must be using bonito flakes in the soup base. You probably got some lard in there too. It's a deep, rich flavor, but the mellow tones make it a mild curry that's suitable for all ages.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! If you keep on going, you're gonna reveal our trade secret to the entire world! You must have very sensitive taste buds if you can tell that there's bonito flakes in the soup base.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I just really love curry and couldn't help but admire the strength and care you put into it.
I'm happy that you've got so much praise for it. It's the happiest thing that a chef can receive, right, Ichiro?
Yes, sir.
It really was the perfect curry. Thank you so much. I'm sure I'll be back to taste the curry again.
After finishing her plate, the customer thanked us and left the restaurant beaming. And then I realized that Yuji was sending death glares over to where I was standing. What's that supposed to mean? Why the hell does that bread know the recipe for the curry when you haven't even taught me? I'm the one that's supposed to take over the restaurant, not him!
You're the one trying to remove the curry from the menu, remember? What's the point in teaching you if you don't understand how important it is? This curry recipe is a family recipe that I learned how to do from my mom and dad. I can't just let it disappear if you don't care about it. If you're not interested in continuing it because it's not profitable, then of course I would teach it to the only person who cherishes it as much as I do.
But that doesn't mean that you can just teach it to a complete stranger. He's not family. It's not a family secret if you share it with an outsider.
You may not think of him as family, but Ichiro already is like another son to me. I've taken care of him, and he's taken good care of me since he started living here when he was 15 years old. It doesn't matter that he's got a different last name. He's my boy.
Damn it.
Anyway, considering your age, you're gonna have to become the next owner. So that doesn't mean that you have the right to tell me what I can and can't do with my curry recipe. I've already made up my mind to share it with Ichido, and as you just saw, it was a success.
Screw you, old man. You bastard. After making it clear how he felt about me learning the curry recipe, Yuji stormed out of the restaurant. Pops,
I'm so sorry about that, Ichido. I feel terrible for the way he treats you.
You don't have to apologize, Pops.
Ichido, I've wanted to tell you this for a while now, but I'm thinking about retiring and giving up the restaurant to Yuji soon.
What? Already? But...
I'm getting on in years, and it's difficult for me to move around the way I used to. I even had a few tests done at the hospital, and the doctors told me I'm starting to show signs of dementia. It's not serious, but I really am getting old.
No way! But you look so energetic. There's no way.
Well, yeah, right now I can fight off the symptoms with just exercise and medicine, but it's not gonna help for long. One day it won't be enough. I can't ignore the changes that are happening to me, kid. I want to tidy up and pass the restaurant over to the next generation before it's too late. I've got no idea what I'm doing. I'm planning on going into a retirement home so I don't cause any trouble for you or Yuji.
I could tell that Pops had already made up his mind. His expression was serious, and I couldn't even bring myself to argue with him. Once Yuji came back, Pops explained everything to him as well, but I didn't expect the reaction that Yuji had. He looked like he was in good spirits in comparison to when he had stormed out of the restaurant, and once he knew that he was going to officially take over the restaurant, his attitude towards me became more and more arrogant by the day. My worries for the future of the restaurant only grew.
Hello.
Oh, the curry lady. Welcome in.
The curry lady? You've already got a nickname for me.
Oh, sorry. It slipped out before I could stop it.
You don't look very happy. Did something happen?
Yeah, a lot happened.
I was wondering if you'd like to have dinner with me after you finish your shift. There's something I'd like to talk to you about.
What?
I know another very delicious curry place, and I'd like you to try it.
Yeah, sure. Just like that, I had a dinner date with the curry lady. And I found out that the curry lady's name was Reiko Kayasugi, and that she was 22 years old. She was still attending college, majoring in economics.
Ichiro, how old are you right now? Are you still in high school?
Oh, I'm actually 19. I'm gonna be 20 next year.
What? Seriously? I'm sorry, I judged you by your height. Please forgive me.
It's okay, I'm used to it. A lot of people confuse me for a high school student all the time. Apparently, I'm the same height as an average middle school girl in her 3rd year.
19. But you're still very young for someone who made such a delicious curry. You must have worked very hard to bring out that flavor. I have a lot of respect for you, Ichiro.
Thank you very much, but it looks like we won't be serving curry at that restaurant for much longer.
Why not? Can you tell me?
I told Reiko everything about Pop's restaurant, about Yuji and the issues with the curry menu. Reiko stayed silent for a while, as though she was deep in thought, and when she opened her mouth to speak…
The truth is, my family also owns a food business. We're running a cafe, but we have some lunch options. That's why I'm studying economics and management at college. I want to learn how to become a good business owner.
Oh, really?
And I was actually wondering, if you're okay with it, that is, if you would come and work with me in our cafe. I think that would be one way of continuing the curry recipe you inherited from Mr. Yusaku.
But…
I think you would regret it if you lost that recipe just because Yuji doesn't want to use it in his restaurant, wouldn't you?
I'll talk to Pops about it. It's his recipe after all, but even if I can't get his permission for the curry, I'm still planning to leave the restaurant. Frankly, there's no point in me staying if Pops isn't there with me anymore. Yuji's planning on making a lot of changes, so it won't even feel like it's his restaurant anymore.
Oh, really? But don't worry, I want you to come and work with me, whether you bring the curry recipe or not. I believe that you can make a delicious curry of your own, even if you don't have Mr. Yusaku's recipe to follow.
You sound like you really do love curry, Reiko. The truth was, Pops had already left the restaurant and had begun his life in the retirement home. When he announced that he would be leaving the restaurant, the regulars were all sad that they wouldn't be able to see him at the restaurant ever again, so they went out of their way to plan a leaving party for him, and they sent him off on his last day. And then they all left to go home, and they each shook my hand and told me that they were looking forward to seeing me as the new owner. However, each time someone mentioned me taking over at the restaurant, Yuji would intervene and announce that he was the 3rd generation owner. The moment they heard the news, all the regulars looked grave, and they just headed home without saying anything to Yuji. That day, I became resolved to leave the restaurant as soon as Pops was settled in his last retirement home. Then on the last day, I said to myself my goodbyes to all the regulars I'd gotten to know so well, and left the restaurant with all my things. I had spent 4 entire years working in the restaurant and living in the house behind it with Pops. Leaving it behind was more painful than the days that I was forced out of my parents' house when I was still 15 years old. Thank you. Goodbye. 6 months later, I'm working at a cafe that Reiko and her family owns, but it's a much bigger and grander cafe than I imagined it would be, and it took me a while to get used to how prim and proper it was. I found out once I started working with her that Reiko's family was actually famous in this area for their wealth. Her parents were the owners of several other food businesses, but this cafe was a business that Reiko's grandparents had left for her, so it was already decided that she would be running the cafe in the future, when she was done with her studies. Thankfully, they had been looking for some kitchen staff, so I was hired without any problems. We introduced Pop's curry to the menu soon after I began working with her, and just after a few months, the old soba restaurant curry became the best-selling dish.
I knew it! I knew that your curry would be popular with our customers.
I never imagined that it'd be this popular. Pops will be so happy. It was such a popular dish that we knew that we would be sold out by the time lunchtime came around, and it didn't take long for it to be received by the nickname the Phantom Curry from customers who had missed the chance to eat it several times in a row. However, I knew that a person wouldn't keep quiet if they heard the rumors about our curry. Hey, where's Matsuyama? I know he's here. Hello, Yuji, what's the problem? Everything's a problem when it comes to you. You stole my family's curry recipe. You should be ashamed of yourself. Take it off the menu right now. It was Yuji who had taken over the Pops restaurant as the 3rd generation owner, but I can imagine that the business was probably not doing so well after Pops retired. The main reason was probably that the regulars who had been coming to eat because they wanted to see Pops had disappeared, and partly because the curry that had been struck from the menu, despite being a favorite with most, if not all of our customers. Thanks to Yuji being too stubborn to appreciate the customer's will over his profits, there wasn't any more reason for people to come over and eat at his soba restaurant. I warned you several times that it'd be a bad idea to remove the curry from the menu, remember? I told you that you wouldn't regret getting rid of it, but you only cared about the costs. And you said that it wasn't worth keeping. You got rid of it as soon as Pops left the restaurant. That's why Pops entrusted the curry recipe to me. He wanted me to have it. But that recipe is my family's recipe. You can't use it without my family's permission. You're thieves.
If you say that we've stolen it, then why don't you serve that curry at your restaurant as well? If you can't, then it's because their previous owner didn't trust you enough to give you the recipe. It's your own fault. But Ichiro received training from Mr. Yusaku, and even got his permission to use that recipe in my cafe. We haven't done anything wrong.
What the hell? You're lying! Just like Reiko said, I'd already gone to visit Pops from the retirement home on the day I left the restaurant, and I told him everything that had happened, including Reiko's job offer. When he heard that I wanted to make his curry at her cafe, he began crying tears of relief, telling me that he was happy to give me permission, and rejoiced that his family's curry would continue to be shared with the world.
Mr. Yusaku even signed a contract agreeing to give up the recipe to Ichiro. Of course, we didn't force him to sign anything. We even had our lawyers witness the whole thing just in case. He agreed to all of the above because he must have been anticipating your coming here. Now, we're very busy and you must be too. If you have the time to be making an embarrassment of yourself, then why don't you return to your own restaurant and work hard to get your customers back?
Yuji didn't even have the words to argue back to Reiko and ended up leaving the cafe looking disheartened. Within a few months' time, the restaurant went bankrupt and the entire building was gone. I don't know the details, but Yuji probably ended up in a lot of debt and ended up with no choice but to sell the land. I don't know where he disappeared to, but I have no intention of searching for him. However, thanks to her connections to those in the food business, Reiko was able to warn the local restaurants and cafes about Yuji, so I doubt that he'll be able to find another job in the food business. I just hope that he learns from his mistakes wherever he does go. As for Reiko and I, we got married and we're doing our best to run the cafe together. We're always thinking of ways that we can improve our customer experience, and every now and then I go to visit Pops at the retirement home and we spend hours talking about our time at the restaurant together.
The moment I saw you, kid, I knew that I had to protect you. I swore that I would do anything to raise you and keep you safe, but look at you now. You've grown into a good man. I'm so proud of you, son.
It's all thanks to you, Pops. I've still got a lot I want to share with you, so you gotta stay healthy, alright? My name is Toru Kikawa. I'm just a regular office employee. I work in the marketing department for a major food company called MoniRobo Foods, where we prepare advertisements and labels that go on the food items. I recently became 29 years old, and just before turning to the point of becoming 30, I faced an important change in my career. I became the section chief in my office, and my colleague Hozumi Matsuda has applauded me for when our department manager announced the news. But I couldn't have done it without him. He deserved this promotion just as much as I did. Just the other day, we began a brand new product, designing packages and advertising for a new line of products that'll be going on shelves later this year. If this project is a success, then our salaries will be going up too, and we've been promised promotions to find more benefits too. Hozumi and I have been putting our minds together to come up with the best designs to sell the strength of separate items, and we've been working all day and night to get things done, but… Good morning! Hey Hozumi, are you okay? Is something wrong? Nah, I just thought it was rare of you to wear a mask to work. You feeling okay? Yeah, it's just a cough. I think I'm coming down with a cold or something, that's all. Are you really okay? I'm alright. I've been sleeping a full 9 hours every night like a baby. You don't look like you're alright. You might get a fever or worsen your symptoms. So why don't you take the department manager and ask him for the day off? And go home and get some rest. I can't just rest because of a cold. I'm one of the project members, and this project is top priority. I've got to help get it done. Yeah, we need you, but Mr. Shimono is going to get pissed off if he sees you working when you're so ill. He's gonna send you home anyway. Really, I'm okay. I ate a full breakfast, okay? And I had some orange juice. I've got a handmade meal to look forward to as well. Handmade? Ah, your wife made you lunch, huh? Yeah, she prepared some stuff last night so that it would be ready for the time I left for work this morning. I'm a lucky guy. She did all that even though she just gave birth to our son a couple of months ago. That must be tough on her to be taking care of the baby alone when you're stuck here doing overtime for the project. I'm really sorry, man. But remember that your health comes first, okay? If you need the day off, take it. That goes for anything if you need to spend more time at home, too. Thanks, I'm really grateful for that. I'll keep it in mind. There's no point in succeeding in this project if you get sick, alright? Take care of yourself. Yeah, I will. I can't help but be worried. I'm getting more anxious by the minute. He may be willing to work, but we never know when his body might give in and collapse from a fever. We won't have to do as much overtime, and you'll have a lot less stress about the project once it's over. So let's push back to work and make this project a success. Just one more push. I can't say anything to dampen his mood or make him lose motivation if he's gonna stay here with a full-blown smile. Anyways, I've told him to warn me if he starts to feel faint, or if any of his symptoms got worse, and we just went back to work. And just a week later, we got the news that our project was a hit. All of our new products appeared on the shelves in supermarkets, convenience stores, and everything all over the country, and before we knew it, our items were making the news. Food reviewers, TV casters, and bloggers were making great reviews about our products, and as a result, the production line was having trouble keeping up with the massive sales. People of all ages were complimenting our products, saying that it was delicious as they ate. Hozumi and I were overjoyed that our designs had helped to create a social phenomenon like nothing before, but…
Hey, Torio, sorry to bother you on your day off.
Hey, what's up? You never message me when we're off work. It must be urgent.
No, it's not urgent, but…
Is there something bothering you?
Well, the truth is, there's something I want your advice on.
Advice? What can I help you with?
It's not against company rules if I get a second job, is it?
Really? Yeah, it's not forbidden or anything.
Really? That's great news.
So, is that actually all you wanted to ask?
I'm actually looking for a part-time job, one that pays a lot, but I haven't been able to find anything so far, so I was starting to lose hope, but I thought you might know someone or know a place that's looking for help in the evenings.
Sorry about that. I don't know anything that might be able to help you. I don't have that many connections.
Yeah, I thought it might be difficult.
But we earn more than the average at MoniRobo Foods. I thought it'd be more than enough to feed your family. Are you just having some trouble at home?
The salary and benefits are great, they are, but it's just not enough right now.
You didn't get caught up in some con and have a huge debt to pay, do you? You know you can tell me if something's going on, right?
No, that's not the problem. We're thinking about hiring a home builder for a new home, that's all.
A home builder?
Yeah, the apartment we're living in is a little small, and I think that my wife and son feel a little cramped. It'd be nice if we could build a new place of our own that has a little more space.
I don't remember your place being that small.
I just want you to give them a lot of space. In a few months, you'll be crawling, and then you'll be walking, running, and tearing the place apart. I want him to have the space to grow, you know?
I could understand how Hozumi felt. I was single and I didn't even have a girlfriend to start a family with, but I could imagine the responsibility that he felt in wanting to give his family everything they wanted. But even if he was desperate to build his dream home, I felt like it was a little sudden to be asking about if I knew anyone who would hire him. Sorry, Hozumi, I don't know anyone who's hiring, or anyone who's experienced with the same thing that you are, so I don't think I can help. I wish I could help, but
it's alright. Thanks for letting me know.
Hozumi, you're an honest guy. You're passionate about your work and you work harder than anyone else I know. After years of working with you in the same office, I know that you're a really good guy.
Thanks.
But I also know that it means you have a tendency of trying to do everything by yourself, even though you don't have to shoulder all the weight. That's why I want to do everything I can to help you. You're my friend.
I really appreciate you saying that. Thanks, Toyo.
You're not alone, Hozumi. Don't forget that.
Yeah, thanks for everything. I'm glad that I work with a guy like you, Toyo.
It felt like something was off, and I wanted to know why Hozumi sounded like he was hiding something from me. But I felt that it was pointless to ask if he wasn't willing to talk to me about that himself. And the next time we saw each other at work after that, I was relieved to see that Hozumi looked like his usual self. Great, he looks okay. Or so I thought. Hozumi has always been energetic, like he had power to spare. Even after doing consecutive overtime shifts, there was always like a big smile on his face. But ever since our conversation online, he barely was the shadow of the man he used to be. 3 months later, the bad feeling I had began to bare its teeth, and… MoniRobo Foods Limited, thank you for your call. This is Kikawa from the marketing department. How can I help you today?
This is Hozumi Matsuda's wife, Yukiko. I'm sorry to bother you when you're so busy.
Oh, hi Yukiko. How's Hozumi doing?
Yeah, about that. I think he called your department manager to let you all know that he would be taking the day off because he was feeling under the weather today.
Yeah, we've all been worried about him, honestly.
I want to check, but your company contract states that employees go home at 6 on the dot when you're off season.
That's right, we do.
Sure, but I want to ask about my husband's working hours. MoniRobo Foods has been praised as a company that takes care of its employees and ensures that work-life balance is protected no matter what. So why is my husband always coming home long after midnight?
What?
He comes home looking worn out, but leaves early the next day to make it on time for the morning meetings you always have. He's not sleeping properly, so he's got bags under his eyes and he's exhausted.
I haven't heard anything from Hozumi himself about having overtime.
Of course you wouldn't. He would never complain. And if you're taking advantage of that to force him to work overtime for free, I want you to stop right now. He's exhausted, and because of the hours you're making him work, he's never going to be able to rest properly. He's going to get sick.
The phone call I picked up wasn't from someone within the company, but from an external number. It turned out the person on the other end was Hozumi Matsuda's wife, Yukiko. I listened to everything she had to say, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing. If I hadn't met her before, then I thought that it would have been a prank call. I stayed calm and I made sure not to make any assumptions about the claims she was making. I did my best to tell her what I knew. Yukiko, let's just calm down a few seconds, okay? It's true that we really were busy 3 months ago, and we still had the project to deal with, and then we had a lot of overtime, but that was all paid, and we've never once made Hozumi work overtime for free, and he hasn't stayed behind once a single time in the past 3 months.
What?
As soon as it turns 6, everyone, all the employees and the management, starts getting ready to go home. All the work that we couldn't get finished in one day gets left until the next business day, you know?
That's impossible. Then why isn't my husband coming home until late into the night? Where does Hozumi spend all those hours?
I'm sorry, I really don't know why, and I don't want to assume anything.
Hikawa, Hozumi, is always talking about you, about how you're such a great colleague, and how you've done so well as section chief since you were promoted. He's happy to have a friend like you.
I'm only managing because Hozumi is working so hard with me. I owe him a lot.
If you don't know why Hozumi's coming home so late, then I guess MoniRobo Foods isn't the reason why he looks so overworked.
Yeah, I'm really sorry, but I've told Hozumi that he can talk to me about anything, and I've made sure to keep an eye on him. It's just...
It's okay. I'm sorry for getting emotional. I'll ask my husband when he starts feeling a little better.
Yukiko sounded like she wasn't convinced, but she must have felt that she couldn't get an answer from me, because she ended the call. I was shocked to hear that Hozumi hadn't been making it home until late at night. Whenever it turned 6, Hozumi would start beaming and wishing everyone a good night, and he'd leave the office faster than anyone else because he would say his wife and son were waiting for him at home. He wasn't the kind of guy who would go out for drinks or dinner every night, and would go straight home. Hozumi was hiding something after all, and this time it was urgent that I ask him what was going on when he next came to work, but he didn't even give me the chance. Just a few days later, when he returned to work, "Hozumi, you're really pale. Can you even stand?" "I'm okay. My fever's gone down." "But you look like you could collapse at any minute. You're not convincing anyone with a face like that." "I really am okay. I told my wife that I would come home as soon as I got worse, you know? Your wife's really worried about you, you know? I bet that she didn't want to let you come to work today at all." "She told me that she found the office while I was sleeping with my fever off. I'm really sorry that I made you all worry. I'm sorry that she accused you of making me do overtime. She must just must have understood something that I said, that's all." "It's all right. I'm not bothered about that at all. Please forget about it. But let's talk to Mr. Shimono and let's have him get you home early today. You can't work like this." "I told you I'm okay, goddammit! I can't afford to take any more days off. How many times do I have to tell you I need the money?" It was rare for him to get so angry, and it was definitely the first time he had ever yelled in the office. He was desperate. His breathing became heavy and his shoulders began to shake with the strain. It was clear that he wasn't okay. He was just one step away from collapsing from a lack of oxygen.
Kikawa, Matsuda, what's the matter? It's not like you both to argue like this. You're both interrupting everyone else's work.
"I'm sorry we bothered you, Mr. Shimono. It's nothing. We'll get back to work right away. You should sit down, Hozumi."
Matsuda, are you okay? You look like you still haven't recovered from your cold.
No, I'm perfectly fine. Look, I can work."
You really think that you can lie to me? I can tell that you're running a fever from a mile away. Just leave your tasks to Kikawa today and go home today. You need more rest.
"No, please, don't make me go home. I can do my own tasks, I swear. I don't cause any trouble. I just want to work, that's all." "I don't think you can be able to go home on the train. We'd better call you a taxi, so we can be sure that you get home safe." "Toru, you don't have to call anything. I don't need your help. I can work. Fine." "Hey, Hozumi! Hozumi! Hang in there!"
He's in worse condition than I thought. Let's call an ambulance.
He really was lying about his fever going down. He's boiling hot. How did he even get to work like this?
I'll watch over Matsuda, okay? You call an ambulance. Tell him everything you can, and you know more than I do, right?
Yeah, an ambulance. Yes, sir. A few minutes later, an ambulance arrived in the company parking lot, and Hozumi was carried away on a stretcher by a group of paramedics. The office erupted in panic over whether Hozumi would be okay or not, and the department manager and I accompanied him to the hospital so we could give the doctors as much information as we could until Hozumi's wife could make it to the hospital. After a 10-minute drive, we arrived at the emergency department, and Hozumi was taken into the ICU to be looked at.
According to the doctors, he's collapsed because of overwork, and they're gonna keep him for a couple of days to run more tests, but they see if there's any underlying conditions that he might be suffering from.
I can't believe it. I can't believe Hozumi's collapsed. What's going on with him?
I can't believe it either. We haven't had any overtime since you guys finished the project, so how he's been overworking, I have no idea.
His wife said that he must be coming home pretty late every single night every day, so he must have been doing something after leaving the office before coming back home.
It might be that he started a second job, but it's stated in the contract that employees have to announce any other occupations. I don't know why he would want to keep it a secret.
He said that it was because he wanted to build a new home, but what's the real reason behind his sudden want for more money? I don't get it. He's not a greedy guy.
Let's stay here until his wife arrives. We don't want him to be alone if he wakes up.
20 minutes later, Yukiko finally made it to the hospital. We'd given the doctors her contact number, and they called her to let her know about what condition Hozumi was in, and…
Is Hozumi okay? Where is he?
Yukiko, it's okay. He's fast asleep in his room.
Hikawa, and you are…
My name is Shimono. I'm the department manager and Matsuda's direct manager.
What happened? Why did Hozumi collapse? Is he okay?
Hozumi looked like he was ready to collapse at any second when he arrived at the office. I told him that he should go home, but he got a little aggravated, and when I tried to call him a taxi, he must have hit his limit because he fell right to the floor. It all happened so quickly.
Don't give me that! I don't want your excuses, Kikawa. You're supposed to be his friend.
Mrs. Matsuda, you've got to calm down!
How can I calm down? My husband's in the hospital and I had to leave my son with my parents because I couldn't bring him with me. This is not a situation where I can stay calm.
I understand that this must be very stressful for you, but he's going to be okay. The doctors told me he just needs some rest, and he'll be back on his feet in no time.
I knew it! This is all because of the overtime you're making him do. You're not even paying him! You're a liar, Kikawa. I can't believe you.
I'm not lying to you. He really wasn't working past his shift hours. His time card…
How can I trust anything you say? MoniRobo Foods, a major food corporation? Screw that. You're enforcing unpaid labor. It's all your fault that my husband's suffering mentally and physically. You haven't done anything to help him. If anything, you've probably been giving him all of your work so that you can all skip home at 6 o'clock in the evening and not feel any pressure. You're just using him.
Yukiko, listen to me. Hozumi's a brilliant worker, but that doesn't mean that we would take advantage of him like that. I wouldn't take advantage of my own friend like that.
Are you really sure about that? Even though you didn't notice how much he's been suffering?
We haven't ignored how unwell he's been. If you'd like, we can show you all the data we have on his time card. We don't know why he's been so exhausted either, so we think that there must be another reason why he's been going home so late.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. You're trying to say that everything that's happening to my husband is his own fault. You don't want to accept.
I'm not saying anything like that. I just believe that the only way that we can help Hozumi is by finding out the real reason behind his exhaustion.
I've had enough. I don't want to hear your excuses. You don't ever want to think that you might be in the wrong, do you?
What do we do? At this rate, the situation will spiral out of control, and we don't know what she might do.
I've only just given birth. I'm not in peak condition and I'm worried. Hozumi told me that he didn't want me to worry about money and that I didn't have to return to work until I'm ready. But how can I not worry when he comes home like that?
That's just who Hozumi is. His wife and son are his first priority, and he wants them to be happy. That's probably why…
He's a hard worker, and I've been worried that a day like this might come, that I'll get a phone call from the hospital telling me that he's collapsed. He told me that he didn't have to worry because he's enjoying working with a colleague, a friend, that he respects and trusts. But look at him now. This is what he gets.
Yukiko…
What are you going to do if he stays sick? What if his condition is so bad that he can't go to work and he has to stay in the hospital?
If that does happen, then we apologize sincerely. We'll cover the hospital bills and we'll make sure he gets the best treatment possible. We want him to get better after all.
Do you really think that will be enough? I want you to accept responsibility for what you've done. This is all your company's fault.
No matter what we said, Yukiko wouldn't calm down, and it took several nurses to soothe her and get her to go outside and get some fresh air. Hozumi was resting in his hospital room, and we didn't want to wake him up because causing another commotion when she came back would happen. So Mr. Shimono and I decided to leave the hospital and return to the office. I think that you are on the right track, sir. The only explanation for Hozumi's behavior is that he started a part-time job, and that he's been tired from working 2 jobs at once. That must be why he's collapsed.
Matsuda's wife seems like she's the worrisome type, and I can understand why she would be. Something must be going on during the time he's not at home or at the office.
I'll investigate what happened to him after we get back to the office. If we just leave things as they are, I'm afraid that Yukiko might collapse from the stress of taking care of the baby, and having to take care of Hozumi as well.
Yeah, I'll try and check into a few things myself, but you'll probably have an easier time since you're closer to him than I am.
Understood. I began by going through Hozumi's desk when we returned. I didn't want to pry into anything private, but I felt like I didn't have any other place to start. I apologized under my breath and I went through asking the other employees he was closest with whether they knew anything. And when I didn't hear anything that could help me, I even opened up the drawers of his desk. That's when... You're kidding. Is this what he's been acting so weirdly about? As I went through the things in his desk, the truth became clear, and I finally understood why it had been so difficult for Hozumi to talk to us and ask us to help him. Hozumi, just hang in there a little longer. I'll save you. You don't have to deal with this by yourself anymore. We're all here for you. A few days later, I got into a taxi and I asked the driver to take me to the hospital where Hozumi was admitted. Excuse me.
Hikawa!
Yeah, it's me.
What do you want? You're part of the reason why Hozumi's so sick. I don't want you here.
I'm here because there's something I want to talk with you and Hozumi about. It's important that you know what I've learned.
Hikawa, you may have something to say to us, but there's nothing I have to say to you anymore. I'm not interested in your excuses, so leave.
It's urgent, Yukiko. You've got to hear me out.
No, I don't even want to look at you. You betrayed Hozumi and you betrayed my trust. Get out.
Yukiko, please don't shout at Torio. It really is my own fault. He didn't do anything that you think he did.
Hozumi, you need to stay in bed. Lie down.
Torio, I'm sorry that Yukiko's been so rude to you.
It's fine. I'm partially to blame for not realizing how much you were suffering sooner.
It's all my fault. I should have been honest with Yukiko, and I should have talked to you and Mr. Shimono about it sooner.
That's what I'm here to talk to you about. I wanted to ask you a question. If you think you need more time to rest or come back another day, then just message me when you're ready or something.
It's alright. Let's talk about it now.
Hozumi, you told me that you wanted to save money so that you could build a new home, right? That's why you asked me about working a second job?
Yeah.
But that was just a lie, wasn't it? You were trying to cover up the debt that your parents pushed onto you. That's why you're having financial trouble right now.
What?
Your parents are addicted to gambling, and they've been pestering you for money whenever they've run out on their own. Now they've forced the debt they racked up onto you.
You really got me all figured out, Toro.
They made that debt by borrowing as much money as they could, and because they haven't paid any of it, the interest is blown up into triple of what it used to be. Whenever they realized that it was impossible to pay off, they ran away in the middle of the night and disappeared, leaving you to take on the burden.
Hozumi, is that true? Is Kikawa telling the truth? It was your parents' fault?
Yeah, that's why I started a night job. I hoped that it would help pay back the debt little by little. I'm sorry. I know that you've been looking forward to getting our dream home. I'm really sorry.
Hozumi, am I really that unreliable?
That's not it, I swear. I just didn't want to...
I thought we promised that we would love and support one another forever. I decided to be with you.
Hozumi, no matter what the reason is, I don't think you should have hidden it from your family. I'm just glad that you're okay, but I wish you would have said something. You were one step away from falling apart.
I know. Torio, how did you find out that I was trying to pay back my parents' debt?
I brought out my briefcase and showed Hozumi and Yukiko what we had kept in the front compartment. I'm sorry, I went through your desk at work. I was desperate to find out what was going on with you.
My desk?
Yeah, you had a lot of job magazines stacked up in a box, and some in the drawers too. I didn't think anything of it until I found one of the memos stuck inside.
Oh,
you must have been bursting to talk to someone about your problems, huh? I have to do this. I have to pay back Mom and Dad's debt ASAP. $18K left to go. It's a lot, but I've got to do it. I can do it. It's to make sure my family doesn't suffer. It's all for Yukiko and the baby.
So, you've seen everything, huh?
I really am sorry, Hozumi. I wish I didn't have to go through your stuff, but you didn't give me any choice. I couldn't ignore what was happening to you.
You don't have to apologize, Torio. This all happened because I was too stubborn to ask for help.
Yeah, Mr. Shimono's been really worried about you too. Hozumi, everyone's worried about you.
Mr. Shimono and the guys at the office too?
Yeah, everyone in the marketing department knows that you're a hard worker, if not the hardest working guy we have. They all know how much time you devoted to getting the project done.
Thanks, Torio. I guess I was wrong to think I had to deal with everything alone.
Yeah, you were. Why didn't you just tell me when you asked me if I could introduce you to a second job?
I thought about it, but I couldn't get the words out. I felt like I was wrong. I felt that I should be able to deal with my own problems alone. I was too embarrassed to admit that I couldn't bear it all by myself.
Hozumi, I'm sorry that I didn't ask you properly. It must have sounded pretty harsh, and I made it difficult for you to tell me, huh?
No, it's not your fault. I just needed more courage to admit that I was having trouble because of my parents' debt.
Yeah, I know. You're not wrong there. Yukiko's been so busy taking care of her son, and I didn't want her to worry about anything else. She's already been doing more than enough work, and I'm already a failure of a husband for not helping her raise the baby, and I caused her this much trouble by getting sick. I'm the worst.
Don't say that! I'm your wife, and I should have noticed that you were being forced to pay your parents' debt. I'm sorry I was too caught up in taking care of the baby. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too, Yukiko. I was gonna tell you when I finished paying it off, but...
Hozumi, I want you to promise me. Promise me that you won't ever hide anything from me. We're married, so we've got to talk to each other. I want you to rely on me.
Yeah, of course I will. I swear, I will keep that promise. Yukiko began crying and sobbed while she cradled their baby son. Hozumi raised himself into a sitting position and slowly rubbed her back to reassure her. I watched them both hold each other, and I felt tears spring to my own eyes. Hozumi, you're an honest guy with a hard-working character. But because of that, you have a tendency to think that you're causing trouble for other people, and you hide things because you don't want them to worry about you. You've got to learn to rely more on your own family and your friends. Yeah, I can't argue with that. I gotta make sure I reflect on what happened and avoid making the same mistakes. So I've actually got an idea of how I can help you. You do? Yeah, we should go and see a lawyer and work out a way to make the people your parents owe money to understand that you don't have any obligation to pay their debt. A lawyer? Yeah, the debt was made by your parents, right? It was just forced onto you, even though you're not a co-signer, right? But what if the lawyer thinks that I should pay? Because I'm their son. What if he refuses to help me and says that I should deal with it myself? He might just send me away without hearing what I have to say. Then ignore anyone that says that. Besides, Mr. Shimono has a friend who is a lawyer. Apparently his field of expertise is dealing with these sort of financial issues. Mr. Shimono's already explained the situation and he's willing to help us. Toru, you know how happy I am to have you as a friend. I've got to thank Mr. Shimono too. Thank you so much. All we have to do is hire an investigator to track down your parents and then force them to deal with their own debt. You don't have to do that much. Hey, I'm your friend, but I'm also your section chief. You might think that it's none of my business, but I don't care what you say. I'm doing it. I was thinking about how this might affect my family, my friends, or even my workplace, because I thought that I had to deal with all this by myself. I thought that was best, but I guess not. Hozumi, you've gained the trust of all the people around you by using your own strength. There's no way any of us would refuse to help you if you asked us for it. Thanks. I swear I'll pay you all back for this. If you'll just give me some time. Yeah, no worries. Take as long as you need.
Wait, Kikawa, before you go.
Yeah?
I'm really sorry for saying all those horrible things to you, for saying it was your fault. It was a big misunderstanding on my part, but that doesn't excuse anything I did. I'm sorry.
Yukiko, I'm relying on you to watch over Hozumi until he's ready and able to be discharged from the hospital. Just leave all the preparations to me, okay? A few days later, Hozumi was discharged from the hospital and we went to visit the law firm office together. We told Mr. Shimono's friend everything about how Hozumi's parents dumped their debt on him and how they disappeared, how Hozumi hadn't co-signed their debt, and that he didn't have any obligation to pay anything. Hozumi explained how he had found a second job to help pay the debt and showed the lawyer his medical records and how he had suffered as a result. We asked him for advice on what we could do and asked him to introduce us to an investigator that could trust to search for his missing parents. As a result, Hozumi's parents were found in no time. They were brought back to continue shouldering their own debt. Once again, they were struggling under the weight of their $18,000 debt that remained and suffered just as they should. Apparently, they had gone to Hozumi begging for his help, saying, "You're our only son. Children are supposed to take care of their parents. You have to help us," and even got down on their knees and guilt-tripped him. But thankfully, Hozumi didn't give in to their antics and stood up to them. He announced that they wanted to cut ties with them, and he was finally freed of them. He never let them drag him down ever again.
Mr. Shimono, I'm really sorry for everything I said to you at the hospital. I was completely in the wrong.
That's nonsense. You're not to blame for anything. You were just trying to protect your husband.
I shouldn't have done it like that.
Mrs. Matsuda, he's lucky to have you by his side supporting him. You should continue to do so for the sake of your growing family and your happiness.
Yes, sir.
It seems that loan sharks are currently knocking down Hozumi's parents' door every single day to make them cough up more money for their debt. But Hozumi looks like he's finally gotten over it because he said it's none of my business with a big smile on his face. He's back to his usual self finally. He's resigned from his night job and now he's doing much better. I'm glad he's back to normal. Good morning. Thanks for covering me. I'm back to full strength and I'm looking forward to getting back to work. Whoa, now that's a cheerful greeting. You look like you're feeling much better. Yeah, Mr. Shimono told me to take some time off for myself, even after I left the hospital, so I've been getting my strength back and helping out with the housework. But I've been relaxing with Yukiko and my son too. I've been able to get back lots of time with them that I lost because of my second job. Thanks a lot, I really appreciate it. That's great, I'm really relieved to hear that you're back to normal. It's all thanks to you, Toru. I'm really glad that I can work at MoniRobo Foods. I couldn't enjoy anything while I was so exhausted, but now I'm looking forward to learning a lot more at this job and getting promoted. Yeah, I look forward to working with you from here on too. Hey, Toru, you're single, right? Are you looking for a girlfriend? Huh? What was that all of a sudden? I guess I want a girlfriend if I find the right girl. I actually have someone in mind, a girl I want to introduce you to, as thanks for everything you've helped me out with. I told you that I'd pay you back, remember? So I think you would both hit it off. What do you think? So that's what you meant. Yeah, I want you to find happiness with the right person, just like I have. Alright, I don't want to waste the thought that you put into it, so I guess I don't mind meeting her once or twice. I don't know if we'll hit it off, but we'll see. Great, then I'll let her know you're okay with meeting her. I couldn't help but laugh at his enthusiasm and ended up agreeing to his offer. A few days later, I had lunch with Hozumi and the girl he had been so excited to talk to me about. As we talked, I found out that she and Hozumi went to the same college, and that she was friends with both Hozumi and Yukiko. Apparently, Hozumi had been talking about me to her a lot, and she became interested in meeting the real me. We went out to have lunch a couple of times with Hozumi as a conversation filler, but now we're talking in private and going on dates too, and I think it's really going well. Well, I hope so. I learned from the situation with Hozumi that relying on other people isn't always necessarily a bad thing, and I think Hozumi did too. We can always rely on Mr. Shimono to give us reliable work when we need it, and we're blessed with a work environment that gives us the support we need. It's sunk in that MoniRobo Foods is a great company that thinks about its employees first and foremost, and I'm lucky that I work here. I've got to remember not to forget this gratitude, and remember that it's not a matter of course that we have this ordinary but stable happiness. I'm going to keep on working to the best of my ability to keep a hold of this positivity and this simple happiness.
My name is Nano Nomaro. I'm 30 years old. I work at a dating agency as a matchmaker. In recent years, more people have been getting married later on in life, and the number of unmarried people has increased too. But even so, there are a lot of people who want to find a good partner to spend the rest of their life with, or want to find someone that they want to have a family with. I'm working hard every day in the hope that I can be of help to people searching for a good match. However, every now and then I'll be faced with an incredible monster of a client who asks for the impossible. Hello, have you got any men for me? Speak of the devil. Mrs. Sakai, I've told you this many times, but it's not that simple to find a match. You only just signed up to our agency the other day, so it'll take a few more days. We'll call you if we find anyone you might want to meet, so you don't have to worry. But I can't wait! You're taking too long. I can't stay single forever. It's too embarrassing. What's the point in me paying you so much money if you can't find me the man of my dreams right away? I'm not going to look this beautiful forever, you know. I've got to get married while I'm still in my prime. Still in your prime? You're going to be 60 in 5 years. This is Mrs. Sakai. She's 55 years old. She's a newly subscribed client that's making impossible requests. She's the type I was telling you about at the beginning of this video. The most troubling thing about clients like Mrs. Sakai are the unrealistic standards that they have for their partners. But I should probably share a little more information about Mrs. Sakai to give you an idea of why she's impossible to deal with. The truth is, she's already been married once and actually only recently got divorced from her husband. I hear that the reason why she got divorced was because she and her husband had creative differences. But considering the way she refused to look me in the eye when I asked her about it, tells me that there's more to the story, and that she's mostly to blame for it. She's probably thinking that we won't introduce her to a good person if we find out what she did to upset her husband. Unsurprisingly, there are a lot of people who lie for that exact same reason. Anyway, it seems like that she resigned from her company around the same time, so there's no denying that she messed up pretty bad. However, she's got an obsession with marriage unlike any other, and because of that obsession, has kept going by the name of her ex-husband, hence why I have to call her Mrs. Sakai. I can only pity Mr. Sakai. But since she demands to be called that, I have no choice. According to Mrs. Sakai, people can only become a full-fledged human being if they get married. A decent person would never get divorced, says the 55-year-old divorcee. Anyway, my job is to find a match for anyone who is looking for a partner to spend the rest of their life with. Okay, so now I'd like to hear about what you're looking for in your partner. How old or young would you like them to be? A general idea of how much you'd want them to earn.
Well, there are a lot of things I want from a man, but I think the most important thing is youth.
Do you mean physical youth? Or do you mean...
Of course I do. I want him to be young. Are you even listening to me properly?
Seriously, my God. Pardon me, then what age range are you looking for?
As young as possible. The younger, the better.
Okay. Then would you be okay with meeting a gentleman in his late 40s?
What? A man in his 40s? You can't be serious. Are you telling me to date a grandpa? Don't you have anyone younger signed up in your agency?
Then how about someone in their 30s?
You can lower that to 20. I told you, as young as possible.
No way. Of course, we have men of all ages signed up to our agency, and we do have some people in their 20s. However, that number is very small, and the majority, if not all of the men in their 20s, have signed up because they're looking for someone that they can have a family with. Naturally, those men are all looking for a woman who are around the same age as they are, and the highest most of them have set their preference age range in around the mid-30s. I'm sure that the probability of finding someone with a mother complex so strong that they'd sign up to a dating agency just to start going out with someone that could actually be their mother is so small, it's infinitesimal. It's also my job to give clients a soft reality check when their standards are too high so that they can avoid getting their hearts broken. So, I understand where you're coming from. I get the want to have a powerful, vivacious young man as a partner. It could be a lot of fun too. However, according to data collected by our research team, it looks like couples who are closer in age tend to do better in the long term and end up staying together for longer. I also think that it's best that we have a wider scale to work on so that we can give you a lot more choices. It won't help to narrow the age range too much, so I think we could keep on looking at men that are around your age, as well as men that are in their 20s and 30s.
What? Men that are around my age already have one foot in the grave. I'm not looking for someone that comes with a coffin. Why should I marry someone like that? I don't want to have to take care of them.
That's what every 20-year-old would say about you. But then you won't have as much of a choice.
Don't worry, I was so popular at work before I resigned. All the boys loved me.
Alert! Alert! There's a woman that's mistaken simple praise for being really popular. Okay. Do you think you could tell me what sort of things they were saying about you?
Well, the company I was working for had a lot of men in their 20s and their 30s. I got along with them very well, you know. They were always coming up to talk to me. And whenever we were chatting, they would always compliment me, saying that I'm very pretty and that I'm a wonderful woman.
Oh, then does that mean that you actually began dating one of those younger men?
No, of course not. I was married at the time. The most I could do was flirt with them.
Yeah, that's true.
But if I was single, I'm pretty sure that all the boys would have started fighting over me. It's a shame I didn't get divorced sooner.
Regardless of their age, sometimes a woman like Mrs. Sakai appears and likes to brag about how popular they are, when the truth is just the opposite. Mrs. Sakai does look very young for her age, and I think that she is very pretty. I don't think that everything the young men at her company were saying were all lies. However, I don't think she's realized that they were implying when they said the things that they did. When they said that she was very pretty, I could imagine that they left out the words for someone of your age. And being called a wonderful woman could mean that they think that she's a lovely person in general. But doesn't definitively mean that they want to date her. I don't doubt she was praised, but it's a bit cringy to automatically think they want to date her. It's harsh, but that's the truth. Every woman, young or old, should be aware of it. And generally, old women are wiser enough to understand the difference. That goes for me too. I've received compliments many times, but that's not because they want to date me, but because Japanese people tend to respect their elders more. And some show that by praising said elders. I would be touched if a younger man complimented me, but I wouldn't take that to think that I was popular with the boys. I would just smile, say things, and praise their shirt or something, and get on with the conversation. But sometimes, a type like Mrs. Sakai will take that praise to mean that everyone wants to date them. But think about it. Imagine that a younger guy was actually interested in dating you. And they really love you and want to be with you. Do you really think that they could stay calm when they tell you that you're pretty or that you're a wonderful woman? If they really were serious about you, do you really think they could act all cool and collected?
Well, I was thinking that you look really pretty, so I was wondering.
I think that this is closer to how it would actually turn out. Don't underestimate how shy Japanese men are. God damn it, how long do you think it's taking me to get a single date? It's been years. Y-E-A-R-S. Years. Hey, are you listening to me? Oh, yes, I'm listening. Go on.
Anyway, that's the age I'm looking for. The younger, the better. Got it? I know that it'll be a little difficult to get a match if they hear that I'm 55. But the second they see my photograph, I'm sure that they'll all be begging to meet me. So make sure you show them my pictures first, understood?
Yes, I'll do my best.
Oh, and I have another request. I want a man that...
There's more?
What do you mean more? I've only told you the age I'm looking for.
Yeah, but that's already a needle in a haystack. Okay, so what else are you looking for in a partner?
I think that it's a matter of course, but... I want their salary to be a minimum of $50,000. If you find someone that's in their early 30s, I don't mind if they've never been married before. But if it's someone in their late 30s, I don't want them if they've never been married before. I mean, if they've never married until they're almost 40, then that must mean that there's something wrong with them. Oh, but that doesn't mean that I'm looking for a divorcee. That's a whole other problem. I think I'd be okay with marrying a widower that lost their wife to an accident or an illness or something. What else? Oh, savings. They've got to have at least $75,000 saved up. I don't want to have any financial trouble when we're newly married.
Okay, then may I ask how much you've got saved yourself?
Don't be silly. I don't have anything saved.
You don't have any savings?
It's only natural that the man brings home all of the money. Why do I have to have any savings? He should take care of me.
Yikes. This is even worse than I expected. She expects to take and take. She's not interested in marriage. She's only interested in having a young, handsome piggy bank. After giving in all of her demands without anything to show that she can give something back in return, Mrs. Sakai left with her spirits high. Of course, it's my job to find a match. So I tried looking for a partner that hit all the conditions that Mrs. Sakai had given, but where in the world does a guy like that exist? Not only that, because she was out of a job and had a lot of time on her hands, she was coming to visit me at the office almost every day, bothering me about whether I had found her a guy or not. To say the least, she was really stressing me out, and I was rushing to find the guy she wanted. But no matter how much I searched, there's no finding something that doesn't exist. Luckily for me, a miracle appeared to save the day. What? You want to meet Mrs. Sakai? The man that had asked me to introduce him to Mrs. Sakai was 30 years old and was working in a major company. Of course, that meant he was earning more than what Mrs. Sakai was looking for. And according to him, he had no hobbies to spend his money on, so he had doubled the amount she had specified for savings. He was the perfect match. I thought that was impossible.
Yes, I do. The second I saw her photo, I knew I had to meet her. Do you think you could set us up?
I contacted Mrs. Sakai ASAP. I ignored the obnoxious attitude she had when I told her I had found someone for her, and set up a day when they could both meet. To be honest, I didn't think I could find a better match for her than that, so I hoped that everything would go well with him. I prayed that they would find something in common and agree to a second date. But, unfortunately, life isn't that simple. And, on the day of their meeting, just half an hour after the time I had arranged for them to rendezvous, Mrs. Sakai turned up at the office, out of breath and obviously annoyed.
What are you doing? Who told you you could introduce me to that mother complex creeper? He's disgusting.
Huh? What? Mother complex?
Guess what he told me when I asked him what kind of woman he likes? He said, and I quote, "I'd like to date someone that's similar to my mother." Jesus, he told me that he's only interested in women that are older than him. And they've got to be much older. I'm looking for a husband. I'm not looking for a son.
Don't be so picky. He's everything you wanted.
What did you say?
Oh crap, I said it out loud. After that, Mrs. Sakai got even angrier and became unstoppable.
You know, this has been bothering me for a while, but do you even have a husband yourself?
No, not yet, but...
Oh, that makes so much more sense. That's why you're so bad at introducing other people, because you don't have any experience in marriage yourself. I get it now. Great.
My relationship status has nothing to do with this.
Enough! I'm not taking any more advice from this stupid little agency. You're all useless. I know that I can find a husband myself. Men will be throwing themselves at me. In the meanwhile, why don't you work a little harder on getting married yourself if you want to give other people advice on finding a husband? Oh gosh.
Leaving a string of insults in her wake. Mrs. Sakai cackled as she left the office. She never came back. Damn her. If I wasn't this shy and passive, I would get a boyfriend myself. But I can't. Who's calling now?
Nano? Sorry, were you busy?
Mayoshi? Is this Masayoshi? At unbelievably good timing, I got a phone call from the man I've had a crush on for years. His name is Masayoshi Sugo. It's really rare for him to call this late in the evening. No, I'm not busy at all. What's up?
Well, I haven't seen you that much recently, and I thought that we could go out to have dinner sometime.
Really? Dinner? With me? Is it going to snow tomorrow? Seriously? Masayoshi asked me out to have dinner? I can't believe it. I'm so happy. I completely forgot how upset I was with Mrs. Sakai and started preparing for my date on the weekend. I was so excited that I got up really early in the morning of my date and got dressed in the outfit I had carefully coordinated the previous night. I even ended up arriving 10 minutes too early at the spot we had promised to meet at. And then...
No!
He arrived earlier than I did. He's so reliable.
Don't worry, I didn't wait. I just got up a little too early. I guess I must have been pretty excited.
He's so cute.
I've already reserved a restaurant just up the road. Are you okay to walk?
He's always so well prepared. I love that about him. We entered the lovely restaurant that Masayoshi had booked for us after a short walk. It had been such a long time since we had last spoken, and we had so much fun catching up.
So, that's what's been happening with me. I'm just glad it's over.
I'm surprised that there are still a lot of people that think you've got to get married before you're a full-fledged adult. I met one too.
Really? Someone said that to you too? Who was it?
Yeah, a client. She even told me that I should go and find a husband myself before matchmaking other people, and that being unmarried was the reason why I'm so bad at introducing people.
Seriously? A client said that to you?
Well, I kind of get their point. That's why I couldn't argue back to her, and I just watched her leave the office. I don't even have a boyfriend.
Nano?
Yeah?
Well, there's actually something I wanted to say to you. That's why I invited you to have dinner.
What? Wait, it's got to be. He's finally going to?
Well, I've let...
Oh, look who it is. If it isn't Miss, I don't have a boyfriend and I'm not fit to call myself an adult, but I'm matchmaking people.
At the most frustrating timing, Mrs. Sakai appeared out of nowhere with a young man on her arm, only to interrupt what Masayoshi was about to say.
Mrs. Sakai? Huh?
Masayoshi and I looked at each other in surprise, and when she noticed who I was sitting with, Mrs. Sakai raised her voice too.
What? You're Masayoshi Sugo. What's going on?
Mrs. Sakai? What are you doing here?
Wait a minute. Masayoshi, how do you know Mrs. Sakai? Hang on. The woman you were talking about earlier, was that Mrs. Sakai too? It turned out that Masayoshi and Mrs. Sakai used to work together at the same company before Mrs. Sakai resigned.
What are you two doing together? Nerds like you should stay at home reading comics. You don't belong out in the real world.
You can't tell me where I do and don't belong. I'm trying to enjoy a date with Nano. Could you give us some privacy?
Date?
A date? That's hilarious. Don't be ridiculous, Sugo. Only a couple as beautiful as us are allowed to enjoy dates together. Right, darling?
That's right, honey.
Isn't he handsome? He's still 30, and he already owns 3 companies. And he's so ambitious, too. He's still expanding his businesses. Pretty soon, everyone will know his name.
It's thanks to you, honey. You're my lady luck. I wouldn't have been able to do it without you.
Oh, it's nothing, darling. Anyway, we're about to go and gather money for his business. Enjoy your date.
I have a bad feeling about this. Mrs. Sakai, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you're not going to borrow any money for him in your name, are you?
That's right. He's already borrowed too much money for his businesses up until now. So he needs someone to borrow money for him. He needs me. I'm going to support him.
Wait a minute. Mrs. Sakai, I really think that you should stop and think about...
Come on, honey. Let's go. Otherwise, we'll be late.
We better hurry.
Oh, you're right, darling. See that? I don't need a stupid dating agency like yours to help me find a man. I found the perfect man myself. That's just how attractive I am.
Nano, you don't think that...
I do, but I really pray that it's not. However, not long after that, we were to find out that our bad feeling was going to come true. 1 month later.
Hey, answer me. What have you done?
Excuse me? Did something happen?
I was tricked by a marriage con. He was lying to me, and it's all your fault.
I knew it.
That con artist, he told me that he was going to marry me and give me everything I ever wanted. But he didn't even own a single company. It was all a lie. I borrowed a fortune from the bank so that I could support his business. He begged me to help him. He told me only I could help him.
How much did he make you borrow?
$75,000.
$75,000?
You've got to pay for this.
What? Why do we have to pay?
This all happened because you couldn't find me a perfect match. Because you could only introduce me to a man with a mother complex. It's all your fault. If you had introduced me to a decent partner, then I would never have met that con artist. This would have never happened. You should take responsibility for failing me.
Seriously? She's taking false accusations to a whole other level. Mrs. Sakai, I'm afraid I can only say that I did introduce a perfect match to you, and that you were the one that turned him down. You decided to leave our agency and find a partner on your own. This all happened because of your own choices.
Shut up! You don't have any right to talk to me like that. If you want to give me your opinion, then you should find your own husband first. Once you're a full-fledged adult, then you can say all you like.
I hate to say this, but the other day at the restaurant, your former colleague, Mr. Sugo, and I actually began dating, with marriage in mind. Do you have a problem with that?
What? What did you say? That's impossible. How on earth could a boring old woman like you get married?
Look who's calling the kettle black. You're just being a hypocrite. Goodbye.
Wait a minute. You can't just leave me like this. You owe me money. You've got to help me. Please, help.
The truth is, Masayoshi actually confessed his feelings to me that day and asked me to go out with him. I didn't hesitate to say yes, and we became an official couple. According to Masayoshi,
I saw a young woman pluck up the courage to confess to someone she liked, and they began going out. I realized that I couldn't keep on making excuses forever, and had to do something before it was too late.
and that's why he finally invited me to dinner. Apparently, Mrs. Sakai had something to do with that story too. If you'd like to hear what happened, then I'd be happy if you take a look at the previous video. By the way, thanks to his other victims coming forward and giving evidence against him, the con artist was caught and thrown behind bars. However, he had already used up all of the money he had stolen from the women he had deceived, and most of it was irretrievable. I pitied the other women. But as for Mrs. Sakai, she had pleaded with the bank she had borrowed from, telling them that she had been deceived into borrowing it, and begged for them to cancel the contract. But because she had signed the contract of her own will, there was nothing that could be done. Mrs. Sakai was stuck with a $75,000 debt and would have to spend the rest of her life paying it off. I've heard rumors saying that she still believes that she's still worth becoming someone's wife, despite her massive debt, and is still continuing to rely on a dating agency to find a rich partner, while going to work to slowly pay off her debt. I hope that one day she'll be able to realize her own faults and fix them, before some poor guy ends up being caught by her, only to be used to pay off her debt.
Nano! I'm so happy to see you!
Masayoshi, thanks for waiting. I don't think that getting married is a bad thing. I really appreciate having a wonderful partner, and cherish the time I can spend with Masayoshi, and I really think that it does make life all the more worth living. I hope that you all come by MoniRobo Dating Agency and rely on us when you think that it's time for you to find a partner of your own. I'll be waiting.